So, last night I saw Dune. It's quite a masterpiece, I'll say. I think this was a very beautifully well done movie and a very beautifully well done book adaptation. I haven't read the book. I've been meaning to for months, but I just didn't get around to it because life. I just never got around to it. If you really if you're a sci-fi buff or just love really good slow pace storytelling that's just full of drama and has really good acting, this is it. You'll love this movie. Now keep in mind, this is very much a part one of a two-part story, because they obviously, the book is so huge that they had split this up into two movies. They obviously can't do this all in one, but it very much does come across as a part one and two thing. Like, the first part is very slow, building up the story as it goes along and teasing the second part, which we better get soon. There's no reason for Warner Brothers to not make a second part to this movie. It's a must. They have to. This movie will make a ton at the box office, but it doesn't come across as like, all they're doing is just setting up a next movie. They are taking their time to tell this movie story while also balancing out, teasing what's next in the second part. Even the ending, it feels abrupt, but it does feel like the perfect cliffhanger, because it really does. After seeing the ending, you do want to see more and see what happens next, because the storytelling is just so well done in this movie. Denis Villeneuve really knows how to create drama in his movies through dark tones, slow pacing, and just damn good acting. The actors in this movie were phenomenal with the parts they were given. Especially Timothée Chalamet as the lead, Paul Atreides. So in this movie, Paul, he's learning to accept what his destiny is going to be. Also, he has he's having all these dreams about the future and possible future scenarios. And it's freaking him out. And he's also learning to adapt to the new environment around him, that is Arrakis. And speaking of Arrakis, the locations, the visuals, very nicely done. Denis Villeneuve really has a way of, like, I saw Arrival, the spaceships in that movie are unique and almost haunting in a way. And the spaceships and the cities, the other worlds in this movie just feel somehow more ancient than futuristic, because this movie takes place thousands of years in the future, and yet the whole time you're watching it just feels like something that already happened. Obviously it didn't. The visuals are one of my two favorite things about this movie. It's the visuals, and then the second thing I really like, Hans Zimmer's score. This score is going to get nominated in award season for something, an Oscar, something. The visuals and the score are definitely Oscar worthy about this movie. I could listen to Hans Zimmer's score all day, just as a way of relaxing. It's so haunting and epic. This guy, every movie he touches with his musical touch is gold. It's great. It's always good to hear Hans's scores. Now, the runtime is 2.5 hours, and it feels like it is too. But it's still, the story is very engaging. It's slow, and as I said, it's slow building. As it progresses, you keep wanting to know what's going to happen next. It never really loses you, which is good. And again, this is a 2.5 hour movie. It's the first chapter of a 2-chapter cinematic story that Denis is telling with this movie adaptation of a huge book. But it feels great to watch. You just hook not just to the story, but just the the production value, the visuals, it's all just so beautiful and well done. This is one of the most beautiful films of this year that I've seen. It's really, it's one of those films that like you just have to see just because of the look, not just the story, which is very within the context of what it's about. The political aspect is in my opinion engaging and interesting. It's like Game of Thrones in space. All these different societies on completely different planets fighting for one thing, the spice. Which is the most powerful resource in this movie, in this story. And they're all fighting for it, and it's all very interesting. It's really got you hooked. Definitely recommend it. This movie, I've been waiting for this movie for over a year, because they delayed it to this year. It was supposed to come out last year. And when that happened, I was like, alright. But finally got to see it. It was well worth the wait. I'm going to do an 8 out of 10 score for Dune Part 1. And when word of a second part is in development and pre-production, pre-production starts, I'll be happy. Alright, go and watch Dune, seriously. It'll give you one hell of a time this weekend. Alright, see you at the next react.